What the news going on out there?
A leak?
No, I'm just telling people.
Oh, what's going
This
on?
public meeting is now called to order.
There's 3 meetings going on right now.
What's going on?
We have any reports? Where's Rose?
Not feeling well.
Oh, all right. Mail, phone messages.
Just forest cutting plan, if anyone wants to look at it for Charlton Orchards.
Public inquiries.
Where'd you get this?
Do we have any public inquiries?
There's string on this.
Yeah. So Rose, there was a complaint about 510 Stafford Street stockpiling within the buffer zone. Did everyone get her email?
Yeah.
So yeah, she did the inspection, and verified it was moved outside of the buffer. And they will utilize boulders to mark the 100-foot buffer zone to avoid any future incidences. And at this time, in her opinion, the property owner is in compliance and cooperating.
We got 2 new Conservation Commission alternate members. Alan Leon and Erica White.
Yes, so I don't know how you want to,
And Jackie
Proceed.
Nowak is new. Welcome.
Alan Leon is a retired firefighter with special interests in woodworking, golf, antiques, and real estate. And his education and experience is managing the fire service. Erica White is a student. Her special interests and skills are conservation, land protection, communication, wildlife, and farms. She's a college student in the medical field. She's also a registered Nipmunk, Native American, and she wants to help work to preserve and protect our lands.
We're gonna skip approval of those minutes for February 8th.
Wait, no.
Alright.
We're still on. So we would have to vote to accept them as
Okay. I need-
alternate,
I don't-
associate.
Well, I don't know if we have to vote to accept them. The selectmen have already appointed them.
Both
I
of
just
them?
told you, I read their agenda. They appointed them last night, both of them.
Not anybody, we need a motion.
They were as appointed as alternates.
All right, I'm sorry. Rose just told me something completely different this morning when she
And I spoke
talked
to
to me.
Coronis today, Steve.
And do we have the February 8th minutes?
Did Rose
Rose
not?
sent, when she sent them out to everybody in the email.
Well, we made a motion to accept.
Exactly. Right, we accepted. Jackie.
We made a motion.
Yeah.
So we should make a
Make a motion
motion
to accept it.
regardless to accept the alternate members.
Well,
Right, but
yeah,
I understand what. Mr.
I think the
saying.
motion is just a formality. We can do that,
Yeah,
but we're doing this one behind the car. I'll make a motion to accept Mr. Leon and Ms. Scott as alternates.
I need a
that's
second.
right.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
It's approved. All right, what about the minutes of February 8th? Do we have that all set to be approved?
Did everyone get the email and read them?
Skim them.
That's another thing here. I thought we were gonna get our agendas a week before the meeting. I got my agenda, we got our agendas today at 10 minutes of 1. How are we supposed to?
She sent them out Monday. And then there was an addition. We have till Monday to post them because
They were
They're-
emailed to the board members 10 minutes of one today. We got nothing on Monday.
I signed up for them, so I got one on Monday.
I didn't get one on Monday, but yeah, one today.
yeah, she
I
sent.
thought
the
they sent it to
reply.
all the members at the same time.
She
Yeah,
sent
no, I'm just saying, I didn't get any on Monday, but I did get it today.
I got.
a revised agenda today.
No, I don't, I'm just letting you know, I didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't get
It
it.
just, when you get them 4 hours before dark on the night of the meeting, it's hard for us to go out and look at anything. And I do like to go out and look at them. Ron likes to go out, Skip likes to go out. I didn't have time today to go out. That's, how are we supposed to do our job if we can't even get out and look at the applicant's property? Is there any way to get them the Friday before the meeting?
I can ask her to send them out the Thursday, but they'll just be a draft because we have till Monday to post them and sometimes we get
Well,
inquiries.
send them
about-
out to us Monday when you post them. If that's when you post them, send them to us Monday.
That's what Rose normally does.
Well, we got. we
I
got
don't
nothing
believe
this
I
week.
got anything till today.
We got nothing. 10 minutes of one today. Believe me. I got no reason to lie about it.
Right, but on normal, any other normal time, do you still get them on Monday or do you don't not get them until the day of the meeting? I mean, is this like, maybe this is a one-off?
Usually we get them Monday, I don't know what time on Monday.
All right, I need a motion then to approve the minutes of February 8th.
Motion made.
Second,
Second,
all in favor?
All right.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Signing of documents, 40 Sturbridge Road and 64 Southbridge Road. What do we got on that?
They're all right there to be signed after.
Okay, we'll sign them after the meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
That's the order of conditions from Amazon that
All right, we are going
was
to move
issued on January 26th. and
lot
kind of-
2 Pumpkin Lane. We're moving him ahead. He has some health issues.
Ready for me?
I'm never ready for you.
You're gonna swear him in, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Chris McClure, McClure Engineering, here on behalf of, John Santos, the applicant for, Lot 2 Pumpkin Lane. As you're aware, he had previously built, do you have a copy of the plan there? Or I'd like to hold it up for you. I have an existing conditions now. There is a, lot that he built. It was a shared lot, supposed to be a shared driveway, with a shared septic. I say supposedly, when he constructed the original driveway, the slope on it was too steep, doesn't comply with the shared driveway regulations, so now he's got to, construct a second driveway.
Who did you talk to about that?
Who did we talked to about the requirements for that,
Yeah,
his planning board?
when?
So I'm here on behalf of, Pete Engel was a design engineer on this, so I'm just filling in for him. So,
I talked to planning board today and they told me that it could be a shared driveway and that would reduce resource area impacts and any sort of future stormwater discharge, so.
so if you take, I guess, so let's just take a look at the potential for stormwater impacts in that area. The amount of disturbance is less than a third of an acre for the lot. The only impact within the 100-foot buffer is at the entrance of that new driveway. And again, I think from a design standpoint, we weren't there when they constructed it. We weren't there. We came in after the fact and we're trying to mesh the two together. So from a safety standpoint, you have one property going up there. If you have two properties going up there, it's two different households. Again, based upon review of the zoning bylaws, this driveway was in excess of the minimum slope standards. So we put in for
So
this.
did that change the impact of the wetlands?
Actually, again, it changes the fact that we are going to be putting a driveway within near the 100-foot buffer zone on the upper side of the road. Whether it doesn't really impact any wetlands here. The wetlands are off map here, of course, so that, you know, the pond area there.
Last question on that. What is defined as a wetland?
Can we just let him do his presentation, then we'll get to you, okay?
So, so again, it would be an additional impervious area that's contributing, you know, that's discharging down towards the road, you know, the roadway. But, again, there's no impact to any of the wetlands here because there's no wetlands on this particular site.
So you won't be adding any sheet flow or anything like that to the.
We have the, so we have for the driveway, we have a basin, you know, a swill going down to a basin that would basically get riprap culvert and outfall to a check dam or to attenuate any of the storm water that comes off of that driveway.
Is there some kind of protection for the pond in case of issues?
Well, again, coming down off of that driveway, there's a swale on this the side of the road. So we are putting in a detention pond to capture
Is
that
there a
water.
plan if anything does happen to the pond?
Yeah, there's in discussion with Angela, he had a discussion with Angela, who created a we developed the operation and maintenance plan and a resource area mitigation plan. So again, if they have issues, as they have had in the past, it is it's a soft work, a call to, call the Watts immediately, and then we would call in Ecotech, who's the, who's the.
Have you looked at this plan?
Yes, I'm pulling it out right now.
Is there any chance of us having the same problem we had with the one next door? Cause that was a nightmare.
There's not nearly as much disturbance. That's what I say to that. The other plan had a much longer driveway, steeper slopes. And there was a septic, which was an 8-bedroom septic that we installed at the same time. So all we're doing here is they'll be putting in a well. They'll be connecting to the existing septic system. There's an easement that's developed for this lot.
They're gonna connect to this system on the other house.
Yes, yeah.
It was designed for both.
It was designed as a 8-bedroom system. It's gonna be shared. Now, Mr. Santos does own this property. He's gonna maintain ownership of this property. He's not selling properties. He's gonna rent them, and then upon his passing, they're gonna go into this irrevocable land trust is what I've been told. So these aren't getting sold off. He's gonna maintain these.
Where are you on this?
So as it stands right now, my recommendation is to continue because Board of Health is still missing information. They haven't recorded the deeds. And they just submitted the ANR to planning. And when I spoke to Randy in planning this morning, he said he didn't see there was any reason why there couldn't be a common drive. So I'd like to get that figured out because the common drive would be less disturbance, less chances for more erosion and runoff, considering the driveway that's in is stabilized. So I'd like to get those kinks worked out.
Anybody on the board have any questions?
The common, it was designed originally for a common
Yeah,
driveway.
it was,
correct?
yeah.
Now, if we let you use that with the common driveway, the extra water, is that gonna blow across the road like it did before? Or
Well, we wouldn't have a direct conduit down to the road itself.
because
Right.
they have, would you
Yes.
make those retention ponds a little bigger there?
The basins they actually stay the same because we're not gonna be contributing any more water to those, right? Not from you just have the additional driveway. But again, that slope isn't nearly as steep as the slope at the current location. So
Have you given any thought to putting a little bigger catch basin at the bottom of that driveway?
well, there is really no infrastructure, town there's no drainage infrastructure in that area at all, so us putting a catch basin in, I mean, opening up that basin. You know, that's basically all we can really do, just try to attenuate that water.
So it's still gonna run down the street across,
It basically get captured on the side of the street and then it runs down, runs down the drainage swale and then down, you know.
but I agree, we ought to wait and see what planning is gonna come up with here.
All right, just, anybody in the audience have any questions pertaining to this?
Yeah, do they have an emergency plan set on this if there is problems with the water? I mean, the last time, there was so much sediment went into the lake. And they never took care of that. They said they were going to, they never did, and there's one of the neighbors used to have a nice place for his grandchildren to swim, and it's completely filled with sediment now.
Angela, what's this plan? Is it the plan where they put something in the water and the sediment settles to the ground and then it's vacuumed up? Is that the plan that
That never happened.
they're
They
proposing?
didn't do that?
The flocculants,
The flock-
they put flock logs in the channel, but
In the
it,
water itself.
So what kind of a
Didn't
system,
work.
what kind of a system are
Didn't
they?
so with the flocculants, you actually have to take like a water sample and get the appropriate type of flocculant that will bind to whatever's in there.
Because I know all that stuff hasn't been vacuumed out of there. I mean,
No,
the sediment's still there.
Along the side of the road.
In the water.
literally in the pond. The lake.
And we were told it was all squared away. It's
I
not.
was there watching.
Well,
Not much happened.
This board actually stopped him from doing anything, and started to fine him on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And he never did anything, and I don't know what happened to the $2,500 fine.
Well, we were assured it was cleaned up.
No, well, it never has been. And they can't prove that it has been because they didn't do anything about it.
All right, we're gonna continue this hearing.
I have a
We'll take, make sure that this stuff is taken care of.
I got a question. So, Chris, you were talking about a basin.
Yeah.
Put a new basin at the bottom. If that basin, we get a heavy rain and it fills up, where does the water go?
The water goes into, you know, natural channel alongside of the road.
Down that road toward,
Across the road and into the.
not necessarily across the road, but it will go down that road and it will head down to that river that I was speaking to you about.
Yes,
Now, all I'm asking here is for a review to be done by you, because you're, well, man, I don't work with you. Making sure that that water is never gonna reach that river, because if that water reaches that river area, which has been new for the last 3 years, I've watched it grow. And the water right now, as I drove by tonight, is about this deep. Now, if that runoff gets into there, we are definitely gonna get a washout on our road. And now you're gonna ruin the road, not only just getting it into the lake. So I just asked them to at least review that. I know that the environmental review was done within 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And I guess according to you, they're good for 3 years. I thought I understood they were only good for 1 year, but not my business. You guys are professionals in this. I would ask somebody at least look at that area and make sure that that water isn't gonna get to that river. Because if it gets to the river, then we definitely got the runoff and we're gonna wash out.
Is there any way to come up with some calculations as to how much more runoff is gonna come down that road? Is that,
yeah, I mean, we can calculate the stormwater effects from, but it's a single lot. I mean, all the drainage on that road does the same thing, no matter where it's coming from, the other side of this side of it.
and could you check for us,
Our
please,
property's down on hills.
if that bay has been cleaned up down there?
Yeah, so just so you understand, I'm the. I'm the
Yeah, no, I know, you're
engineer,
going
right,
to.
right, I can talk to folks, I'm not the wetland guy, right, so, we put these plans together, but we don't, you know, you guys don't trust us to monitor them, so, but I can definitely, I can check that out and see.
Why don't we trust you?
Well, I don't say me in particular, it's just engineers as a whole, right, that's what wetland scientists are.
Shall we postpone it
I-
a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we're gonna continue this
Scott,
hearing.
weren't you the wetland scientist that worked on this?
I think it was Scott Jordan from my.
Okay, sorry.
I gotta get it in my office.
I knew it wasn't Scott.
Everything's confused all the time. Color needs some changes made.
All right, if there's no more questions, I need to,
All right, so
Continue
we'll
the hearing.
continue it to the,
What was the answer to that question I presented?
Motion to continue?
motion, second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, okay, all right, yeah.
okay, we need to go back to the alternate members. The selectmen did not meet last night and did not vote on it. And it's on their agenda for one alternate, so we have to pick one alternate. They did not have a meeting last night. There was no vote, so I don't know what you're speaking of.
Thank you.
I don't know
Thanks
what
for
I wrote.
taking this early too.
What I
Not a
read,
problem.
I
Good luck
read
with
on
the court.
someone's agenda.
There was no meeting last night and no agenda. They haven't had one since Jackie. And on their agenda for
They
the
mentioned both names.
agenda for the
Okay, I'm not
28th.
gonna argue for it.
There's a-
I'll-
So we have to pick one to recommend.
Just one?
Yes,
Well, I think we should interview,
okay, and they're both right here, so.
okay. Well, but what I'd like to do is do that at the end of the meeting.
We can only pick one. I think we should have them both as alternates.
I don't have a problem with that either.
I don't think we can have both, because the selectmen on their agenda for the 28th have one alternate.
Well, we asked.
If it turns out that we could have two,
Why don't we find that out?
Well,
we'll look into that, but we should at least have one recommended.
I think we ought to hold off and find out.
I agree.
I think we should, I think we should,
Hmm?
we should have one. Alternate.
Well, if,
Well, yeah, we should have one alternate.
all right, then I would make a motion to elect Mr. Leon as
And may I?
first alternate. I think he was the
why,
first name.
Considering that Erica has experience in land management, land conservation, she's a nipmunk, she's young, she's ambitious. Mr.
I'm
Leon's
old and
interests
ambitious.
are woodworking and golf and antiques, and I think he's both of your friends, so there's probably a bias there.
Mr. Leon was gonna be put on the last meeting when Jackie was put on, and it was too late to get him on the agenda. So I think
And
he
it
should.
doesn't matter who comes in first,
No,
it
no, I know,
matters
I
who's
know,
more
I know.
qualified
we
and
spoke-
more willing to take courses.
I made a motion to appoint Mr. Leon as our alternate.
I just second it.
I'd
All
like,
in favor?
I think we should interview them both.
I agree.
I'd like to
Before we,
talk to them before.
That's what the selectmen do.
no, I think we have a right to do that.
It doesn't mean anything.
They're gonna,
Well,
okay,
well, listen to our-
I don't want to argue with you.
So why would we not want somebody young and
Well,
ambitious
I
that
agree with Vic. I
is?
agree with Tom. I just like to talk.
Someone else has life experience. And,
Cause his life
Well, why don't we
experience
solve the
isn't in
problem and
wetland
find out if we can have-
protection as a Native American is, who's dedicated. Who's
Find out
also
what
a
they do.
young woman that's looking to.
I have nothing against
participate.
Ms. Scott, nothing at
Or-
all.
Hold on. Can we
So,
find out if we can
In
have both
terms
of them
of
first?
qualification, she's the
Hey,
one
hey,
that's more qualified.
Can we find out if we can have both of them?
I can
That's
look
gonna
into
solve the
it.
problem. So let's do that first, and then we'll vote on, if we only get one, well, then we'll take the vote then. All right, I wanna move this on.
why can't we, the members, the commissioners,
All right,
want two of them?
I mean, he put a motion on the table and he
And
seconded.
make a motion and have both of them as alternates.
all in favor?
That wasn't,
I go for that.
All opposed?
that wasn't your motion to begin with.
Motion is to have both.
That's a different motion. Is that the motion I'm voting now?
Yeah.
To see if we can have both?
to contact the, ask the board of selectmen if we can have two alternates.
Right.
Is
And if
that
they
the-
say
is that
yes,
the
we'll put
motion?
them, and then if they say
No,
yes,
we
we
can-
can put.
Rose is telling me that we have to vote on one. I'm just letting you know.
Is she listening? She on?
I'm not sure if she's, it doesn't look like she's on.
I agree with Tom. Let's just, between now and next meeting, find out if we can have both.
And then if we can't, then we would want to make recommendations both. If we can have both, we can have both.
I just as soon have both of them if possible.
We're the commissioners. We can vote on this.
I agree with you.
What's,
So vote.
So what's the motion then?
what's the motion?
The motion is to accept two alternates,
If that's okay with the selectmen.
if it's okay with the selectmen, but it's all right with us.
Okay,
I need it.
And then
Second
we'll
on that?
discuss it further if we can't have two at the next meeting.
We'll just change it next meeting, that's all.
Yeah.
Don't complicate things.
aye.
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 All right. All opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Just like we say no, then. we'll go.
All right, let's move on. Lot 122B, Oxford Road. Who's up?
Good evening, just for the record, Scott Morris. Actually, if you want to open both of them up, I can talk about both lots. If that's more convenient.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, B and C.
Yeah. Do them both at the same time.
Anybody else here for this? I was just gonna turn it. Oh, yeah. So earlier today, I guess this one's lot C. There. Angela and I met earlier today to review wetland boundaries, review the site. Following that, there were some modifications made, most particularly stormwater management controls. So you've got a proposed house, driveway, single family house, septic system in the front. Wetland resource areas are highlighted in green here.
Excuse me for 1 second, okay? Is there anybody that's interested in this? If they want to come up and just, and,
Oxford Road.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Actually, because.
Yeah,
come up here, at least you can see what's going.
In the end of January, where the first time in 13 years, I got flooded out.
Okay, well, it's probably Beavers.
Yeah. Well, I actually got pictures of all the water that's
Yeah.
running.
All right, well, let him do his thing, and at least you can see what's going on, okay?
127 By any chance?
what's this?
What's your address?
140.
Is that across the street?
It's on, no, actually, we have two houses on now, on the left.
Yeah.
I'm on the left-hand side down further.
Okay, so much further down.
Yeah, but I actually went through, after I got flooded out, it took me almost 3 days to get rid of the water out of my cellar. That's how much water was coming
And
in.
what I'd like to do is move on with his
Yeah,
thing,
oh, yeah,
and
no.
then when he's all done, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
ask a couple of questions
Sure.
or whatever, okay? Is that good?
I own a piece of land next to one of those lots, I believe.
Okay, let him finish his presentation though,
Yep.
and then you can go from there, all right, please?
So what we discussed today was some stormwater controls. We're proposing a grass swale with some check dams so that any runoff from here goes down, slowed down through the check dams, kind of a riprap pad. And that will sheet flow through this forested upland into the wetland resource area here. From here, it travels beneath Oxford Road through a culvert, and continues on. So the stormwaters is really kind of the control that we proposed and changed, kind of modified today. On lot C, which is the one to the left of this, just next door, we've also made some stormwater controls. The other thing I didn't mention is they're also proposing some infiltration systems along the side. It'll be outside the buffer zone alongside the houses, but it's outside the buffer zone. They've committed to doing the infiltration. But they need to do some additional soil testing before that works. So again, same thing here. We've got a proposed driveway, single family house. This one has the septic in the back, well in the front, which kind of limits what you can do for stormwater management. We proposed a swale coming down this side with a riprap pad. So that will discharge into this wetland and continue to flow through underneath the driveway and then through that pipe across Oxford Road. They looked at possibility of putting in like stormwater basins in the front of the yards of these. What ends up happening is it tears down a whole bunch of you'd essentially destroy anything that's left of the buffer zone to install these systems. And when they do the calculations, it's just a minor change from to attenuate a 100-year storm event, you have to create this enormous basin. And what you end up getting out of it is minimal. So for instance, the pre-design for a 100-year storm event, you've got 15.26 cubic feet per second exiting the site. Post-construction, post-development. Would be 15.92, so it's 0.35 cubic feet per second, so. Based upon the town's bylaw, it really kind of looks at the fact that you want to preserve as much forested areas first. And then if you need to provide mitigation, you do it otherwise, but essentially. The goal would be to keep as much forest as you can possibly get and get that configuration. So based upon that, we provided some, we've engineered some swales, so you get some water quality treatment. But you're also preserving it much of the buffer, so kind of a balance, so.
Angela, do you have any questions pertaining to this?
Are these your final plans?
Yes,
We didn't add the culvert.
that culvert, I talked to the engineer about it, that culvert in the front. Is on the town's property, so anything that happens there would have to be cleared through DPW.
So that's something that we need to address prior, cause
And-
that has to go in.
Well, keep in mind, if you're down gradient,
Oh, the water comes down on the side of the road. Where one of those culverts is with the, the concrete, yeah, it's blocked, 90% of it's blocked off with leaves. And, running water, I mean, I actually got pictures of running water in a few places. The next lot over from me, the water's just running down. Like I said, I got flooded out for the first time in 13 years. I've never had water. I had
So
3 inches of water.
This
in my
is one
cellar.
that's completely plugged up and probably broken, which is why I've been asking all along for the
Yeah.
installation of a culvert there.
but if they install that culvert, you're gonna flood. You're gonna take all that water that's currently blocked by this, that's going underneath Oxford Road, and you're sending it down towards your house, I think.
But if you don't, you're gonna flood out the guy across the street with the other culvert.
But that's the existing flow, so you've got an existing flow path that comes through and goes through that culvert underneath the street. That's why I had talked to the engineer this afternoon. And essentially, it's on town property, so the DPW is gonna have to decide whether they replace or install a new culvert, keep it as is, but we just push that on to whatever DPW suggests.
We're gonna continue this. Aaron, Angela,
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least until we can talk to DPW about,
Where the water's gonna go, yeah.
you
yeah.
got to know where the water's
culvert
gonna head.
is-
Got a question for clarification. Bob, your property, is it to the right or to the left of his?
It will be to the left.
It'd be to the left.
Over here.
I
Okay.
think they probably abuts my land. I'm not sure water.
Where your dad's house used to be,
Well, what?
where the family home was,
Well, do you have an address for
No,
Kotek,
no.
so you know?
not on that lot?
This is down on Oxford Road. Yeah, well, I used to live on Oxford Road.
And where's the stuff about dewatering?
There's a note on the plan. Quarry note, so we noted there's an old quarry hole here, there's some slabs, it's beautiful, like nice, long. Granite slabs that came out of there, there is a little bit of water in there, so we put a note at your agents, so if there's dewatering required. They'll pump the groundwater to a silt bag or similar containment system back here. The concern, which I think was a very good concern, is if somebody goes and says, oh, we need to pump this out, let's just pump it down the driveway and then have like a plume of sediment and washout coming down there, so. They put a pump in here, pump it to an area out back into a silt bag, kind of disperses the water. Provide some treatment if there's any sediments or anything within that, so we've got that note, that specific note for that particular area.
So if I'm a contractor, I'm not gonna know any of that if I'm just looking at this plan.
You can add it as a special condition as well, but like I said, we added that as a note, I thought that was your request.
I think we're gonna continue the hearing anyway.
Yeah, let's continue the hearing so I can talk to DPW about the culvert
Okay,
and maybe
do you want,
I would like some kind of detail for the dewatering, not just a note.
It's not wrong.
Thank you.
I need a motion.
Make a motion to continue the hearing.
Second,
Wait, was there,
Yeah, I actually, I just wanted to, where they're talking, coming down the side of the road, that's not where it's coming from me, over either. I went out in my yard during all that, warm weather where everything started, getting hot, melting. On the side of my, I'd say 4 feet from my foundation, on the side of my garage, I actually sunk in that.
yeah, well, this has been an unbelievable rainy.
Yeah, so like I said, it's the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah.
That when they put their house in originally, they put a drain on the floor. It was actually shooting out of the drain. On that, but I mean, it took like 3 days later before all that water, after we got a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Took 3 days after it stopped. Even with the sun out, before all that water was coming off the ground and drying out.
Yeah, I have a little river goes by my front house.
Well,
and
that's
it's
the
full.
whole side.
Yeah.
That water.
All right, I need a motion to,
I make a motion to continue.
Well, you just-
second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Next house down.
and then same thing
Okay.
with,
Oh, we gotta do the
hold
same
on,
thing with the
you
other.
gotta do the same thing with the other one.
Now, you
I
wanna-
didn't know what you said.
We gotta do the same thing for the adjoining lot. So.
Oh,
make a motion to
I need
continue.
a motion to continue the other lot then.
That's second.
To 322
That's.
at
my-
7 PM.
And I walked on and I suit down in.
Okay,
There's all water there.
all right, lot 3 Hill Road.
Lot next to.
Requested a continuance to 322. At
I
seven.
need a motion to continue.
I can do that. Motion to continue.
Second,
I mean, this is the
all
water.
in favor?
Jeffrey running.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Lot 4B, Oxford Road.
No DEP?
That continue too?
Yes.
No,
Nope, I'm here. I'm here for Oxford Road.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
We still do not have a DEP number if I'm,
The letter that they sent out on January 17th had a DEP file number on it, Angela.
oh, it did. It was just in here.
I just noticed it tonight when I looked at the agenda also, so.
We've had the number for a couple months. What were we waiting for?
We've had no correspondence from National Heritage on whether it qualifies as a take or not. We have not had any additional information, to determine if the isolated wetland qualifies as isolated land subject to flooding. There's been no alternative analysis provided for the riverfront area.
These are comments from DEP.
Yep,
Is this the lot next to the brick house?
Two removed, two to the left. There's a lot in between it too.
That's this. Right next to,
Yeah, what's his name? Who died?
the hell was it now?
Uh,
Rose.
I'm back. Road, yeah, yeah.
here's some little plans.
That's all right.
No, this is where the dick goes. There's 2 roads.
There was one that was a town lot.
Yeah, he's the one that did that.
There were bullets or something that.
So it's DEP, yeah, lots of comments that we haven't.
Donnie
Information.
is married to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not received, any sort of response to DEP's comments or anything.
Can we look into that tomorrow or the next day, whatever? See what's going on. If he's got him, we should have him.
No, for the record, I haven't submitted anything to DEP or Natural Heritage yet. I've been working with the you want me to present? Some of this so it can clear up.
Oh, I think we're, correct me if I'm wrong, Angela, we're looking for answers to the DEP's comments.
Which,
He hasn't sent nothing to the DEP, so they ain't gonna give us any comments.
Okay.
correct. I want to explain the project to you and then go over what I've done and haven't sent to the DEP yet because the National Heritage, because depending on your comments, I didn't want things to change. So if you want me to do the presentation and explain the project, I'm more than happy to, and then I can explain the alternatives analysis and what's happened in what we're going to be filing with DEP. We've already submitted a notice of intent. DEP came back with comments, and now we're here to present to you guys, the commission, and get your comments, and then we can handle everything together. And I'm prepared to address the comments that, what's that?
Why don't we get going on it?
Yeah, all right. Just bear with me. Do you need to read this in or anything to open it up? You don't read the notice?
I think he did.
No, I just gave the road.
No, they don't.
Okay, all right. So can I start?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Sorry, I don't know your system yet. I'm sorry. Okay, my name is Jude Govin. I work with OHI Engineering. I represent Rob Hatch, the applicant. The property is located to the north of Route 20 on the north side of Oxbow Road. It is part of a recent A&R plan that was developed to create 5, if you can see these 5 lots. This is the original parcel, and there's a lot to the left and to the right. This is the subject parcel for the notice of intent that we're talking about tonight, and this is a 5th lot on the side. The property is located within the wetlands. It has wetland buffer zone. It's got riverfront associated with a little river. It's got some floodplain and habitat area. The project has been moved since we've looked at the alternative analysis. The project has been moved out of the riverfront area and completely outside of the 100-foot buffer zone for the wetlands. It still lies within the natural heritage area. Having filed with Natural Heritage, they came back and said that there's a wood turtle that has been identified as the species of concern out there. Reading the fact sheets and stuff, it's hard to say whether or not they exist or not, but for what we're doing, we're going to treat it as if they exist and comply with what Natural Heritage has asked us to do. The project consists of the construction, or proposed project consists of the construction of a 2-bedroom log cabin and a 2-car attached garage. The septic has been designed for a 4-bedroom system to allow him to go up or expand his bedroom count, maybe go over the garage at some point. But for now, a 2-bedroom house satisfies my client's needs. The project also includes the driveway to serve the home. And like I mentioned before, as part of the filing, the application was submitted to NHESP, and the request from them was made, and also DEP seconded this. They asked for drainage calculations because the A&R that was created 5 lots total, and under the stormwater management, that is a trigger for having to do full drainage designs. They also asked us to do disturbance for the areas for all of the lots involved within the habitat area. So lot 4 and lot 5 are both within the habitat area. So they're asking for a total disturbance, not just an isolated disturbance from our project. They want to know the total disturbance. So I've done those calculations and came up with that stuff. Like I said, I have not submitted it to them yet, awaiting this meeting. What has happened since the comments have come out is that the landowner had gone back and filed a new A&R plan to create 3 lots within the subdivision, to create 3 lots on the A&R plan. So that is under the stormwater management, the state stormwater management guidelines. What we've done for analysis, and we have the letter to go in writing, we just haven't submitted it yet, but we've moved the whole entire driveway. This driveway comes up and it was going to wrap around the house, and now the garage was going to come into the back. And this disturbance along the slope was going to be within the 200-foot riverfront area. What we've done is we went ahead and
Excuse me, guys, can you please be quiet back there? Thank you.
what we've done is this is the old driveway coming up through and around the back, and that's the riverfront area line there. We've decided to come in and flip the garage around and come into the driveway from the front. So we're kind of going up the side of the septic and into the house on the front. What that does is it significantly reduces the amount of disturbance in the riverfront area. It actually completely eliminates it. So when I did this alternative analysis, I started here and worked my way up with the elevations. So the limited grading is right where this tree line is now for the new design. So that driveway and all that disturbance in the back has been greatly reduced by the alternatives analysis that we had conducted. Last but not least, the impoundment, which the question is whether it's an isolated land subject to flooding. So we went out and we had our wetland scientist flag the limits of where he thought the limits of the impoundment were. And we went out, I survey located them and did a very thorough topography in that area with survey equipment. And my calculations, so the requirement is you need to be an isolated land subject to flooding. You probably know, but it's 6 inches of depth average over the area, and you need 10,890 cubic feet of volume. That's a 1/4 acre foot. Based on the analysis that we did in the calculations for this impoundment, the volume of the impoundment is 4,715 cubic feet. So it's significantly less than the area that's required for the trigger for the threshold. And the other thing that we analyzed, and we'll submit this to the conservation and to everyone else too, there's an average depth analysis that was done, and it provided 5 1/4 inches of depth throughout the impoundment. So we feel that we've proven by calculations and flagging that the impoundment is just, it's not an isolated land subject to flooding. It's just a land subject to flooding. So it doesn't have DEP jurisdiction. And what that really means is if we're proposing to fill for the road, we're proposing to come up over it and put a culvert in the middle of this wetland so that in the middle of this impoundment, so that the water that does go down there and receives that stays in equilibrium and doesn't pond up from the if the water is coming onto one side heavier than the other, it can reach equilibrium and act as it does now. So that's the project in a nutshell. I'm sure everyone has some questions. I'd be happy to answer.
Anybody on the board have any questions?
Yeah, so this plan you just presented, is it different than the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Angela, you have anything on this?
I need all the new information like in front of me to review it. And you're gonna send it all to National Heritage as well and DEP?
After this meeting, I'm going to send it off to everybody at the same time, but I understand that you need the information also.
Anybody in the audience have any questions? If not, I need a motion to continue the hearing.
Motion to continue.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Angela, should I just coordinate with you to do the site walk?
Yeah,
Okay, it's staked out and stuff, so the house box didn't change, so we could do that anytime. I'll send you an email tomorrow then.
Griffin Road,
battery.
Yeah.
Continued.
So we make a motion? Make a motion, we continue.
oh. I need a motion. I thought I did. I need a motion to continue that.
Sorry. Motion continue.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Griffin Road,
Remember, we have to make a motion to date time certain, so 3/22 at 7 PM. Thank you. Continue
I need a motion to continue.
to 3/22 at 7 PM.
That motion, what she said.
Yeah. Second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All opposed? Lot 7, Harrington Road.
No, we just did that.
No, we
I
just
didn't.
did.
No, we didn't.
We did Griffin
Oh.
Road, but we didn't have the time date. Now we're on lot 7.
Okay.
Second.
Continue to 3/22 at 7 PM.
This case is all.
I make a motion, we continue to
22.
at 7 PM.
All in favor? All opposed? Lot 8, Harrington Road.
Continue 3/22.
Need a motion to
at
continue.
7 p.m.
Motion to continue.
Mary.
3/22 at 7 PM.
Finn. Oh, just-
Second.
Can
Second,
you sign in
all in favor?
All right.
All opposed?
If I get an email at the next meeting asking to continue again, I'll give you a call so you don't have to keep showing up. Okay, thank you. Because they send the email.
65 Stafford Street.
This is an RDA. They are,
That's me, Jim Moran.
And Mary Ann Pinto.
Watch out, that seat's hot. What do you got?
I'm looking to repair my septic system. And I'm here to get conservation approval for it.
Where is that located exactly?
265 Stafford Street. I'm right next to the Ryder Tavern on the,
Okay.
on the red house towards Worcester on the same side of the street.
Oh, I know right where it's at.
Yeah, it's an old historic house and
Mitch,
septic system's been there, I think since the 70s.
When was it built?
The house?
Yeah.
1795.
I got you beat, mine 1774. What do we got on this? Any problems with this at all?
Mary Ann.
Mary Ann DePinto, I filed the RDA. Half the septic systems in the buffer zone. The closest point, there's like a foot of grading that is at 50 feet. The erosion controls are placed at the 50-foot line, so there's no disturbance in the 50 feet. And half the system is literally outside the 100-foot buffer zone.
Looks good to me.
So negative conditions?
yeah, because there's really nowhere else to put it.
Oh, I need a motion with conditions.
Make a motion, negative conditions.
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, folks.
Do I have permission now to proceed with this project?
Excuse me?
Do I have permission to proceed with this project?
Yes, but she's gonna give you some conditions also.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
And is what,
Do I
10
get
days?
those tonight? Do I get those later?
No, they have to sign it. My assistant will either mail it to you tomorrow or you can pick it up. There's technically a 10-day appeal period,
Okay.
so
So should I wait to do anything in the? 10
it's
days?
Yeah.
recommended, yes.
Okay,
All right. Good luck.
thank you very much.
107 Dresser Hill Road.
Good evening, Art Allen from Ecotech. Nice to see you all again.
Good evening, Art.
How you doing?
Not bad.
Great. I flagged the wetlands on this site and prepared the request for determination. We're seeking a negative determination for the septic repair. This is one of the southerly building of the former Charlton Furniture on Dresser Hill Road. The systems down below the building. If I can share my screen. Well. If you can see that, there's the building at 107. Septic proposed, the repair septic is downhill to the east. The limit of grading is 80 feet from the wetland. It's partly in the riverfront area, but as you're probably aware, repair septic systems are not subject to the requirements of the riverfront area. So again, we're seeking a negative determination on this system with minimal work in the outer buffer zone. Thank you.
And is that the one I scribbled on?
Yeah.
Yeah, the part I scribbled's the only real work in jurisdictional area.
So we're looking for a negative determination on this.
Yep, with conditions.
All right, I need a motion.
Make a motion, negative condition.
Second. All in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you. Nice to see you, folks.
Yeah, take it easy, Matt.
Bye-bye.
He has a question about T Hall Road.
Question? We answering questions tonight?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, my name's Rick LeBlanc, doing a new house on 61 T Hall Road. It was 4 lots. This was designed previously without a discharge area. They combined both lots into one lot and then resplit it again. When we resplit it, they wanted new drawings. We did new drawings and they wanted to add discharge area. They didn't add the first time because it doesn't work. So Jay Dubois did the drawings and I guess he put it in there. But I had Angela come out. It doesn't work. This is all ledge in the front of the house. So I can't, even if I was to hammer it out, it can't sit on top of ledge. It's not gonna work. And there's really no place to put it. The only place there, we had to hammer for the whole house. The only place there's no ledge is over here where the septic is. Angela came out today and looked at it and obviously we don't want to put that over there. So we're hoping to go back to not having one as the original plan was. She suggested I come here and
So where's the water going now?
what's that?
Down the driveway and into the.
So what we're gonna do here?
I mean, if they can't put it in, they can't put it in. I offered some other potential mitigation measures, but if you're not getting the separation and you're that close to ledge, nothing's gonna percolate through ledge, so.
So the water's going, before this is built, was going down into there anyways.
Yeah.
It's just you're trying to stop sediment from getting.
It's another one of those 5-lot DUP standard things. Where this is the last house that's built that has to bear the brunt of it. But there's no,
That's a crazy regulation.
Right there.
Koi pond.
I don't know. What I was mentioning is that, like I say, it was passed a year or so ago without it because they couldn't get one to work.
Right.
The only reason it's back in is because he put the 2 lots together and then we separated. When we separated again,
You hit the 5-lot threshold.
so. So I'm hoping to go back and say, well, it didn't have it in the last approved plan. Same lot, same size, nothing has changed.
Speak.
I told him to get a rain barrel.
I'm not sure that's gonna work.
I mean, the thing was for just the roof gutters anyway, so.
Yeah, it's only for roof gutters.
So we just wanna go, it's okay. Go back to what he was, original plan. We need to have to approve it again. Or we just.
If
let
it
it-
goes back to the original plan, which was approved, I guess.
What plan is filed? Is it the plan?
This one is the one that's now filed, because they had to,
So,
like I say, it was 2 different lots. They each had their own plan.
no, I'm just to be clear, I'm not trying to be hard.
Yep.
I just concerned if years down the road,
Yeah, exactly.
somebody's gotta do a certificate of compliance and goes. well, this is what was filed,
And it's not.
we're not gonna give you a certificate of compliance. That's my only,
But if it's a full blown,
could they just resubmit the plan without that drain?
and then we'll accept it as a minor amendment.
Yeah. I agree with that completely.
I just don't want it biting you in the butt.
Nope,
later on
nope,
down the
that's
road.
fine. It's very easy for me to have a new plan done.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay, so I'll have another plan
Should
done.
make a note and encourage the purchasing of a rain barrel. It's for the roof gutters. If you put them in, it's a type of stormwater management.
You can use it to water your garden.
Yep, or your lawn.
It's $1 million house, is not gonna want a rain barrel in the front.
Well, you put the rain barrel in the back.
Troy pond.
Charles going backwards.
Toy pond, I would like a toy. All right, thank you. I'll,
What are you hanging around for?
Send it to you?
Yeah.
Bring it to you? Okay, thank you.
Bottom of the list.
Bottom of the list.
Oh, you must be a violator.
Yeah.
You look like a violator.
I violated it.
All right, request for certification of compliance,
No,
Cool.
project monitoring
I had T Hall, but he already talked.
and violators. Can come up here to the hot seat.
I'll take that hot seat of yours.
Oh, it's gonna be hot.
I'm sure it will be. I'm not sure what it's gonna be hot for, though. We'll find out in a few minutes. Well, what do we have here?
What do we got for violations here?
So this is 26 Willis Road. Remember when we permitted 28 Willis Road? The abutters came and expressed all their concerns about what was happening across the street.
Yeah.
From the construction and work on 26 Willis Road, so I did my inspection. And then I sent
What did
it
you see there?
at 26 Willis
Across the
Road.
road, yeah.
The silt fence installed very close to the wetland flags and a bunch of boulders on the wrong side of the silt fence. Possibly in the wetland, but it was hard because several wetland flags were missing.
I was down there yesterday and I did see a pile of boulders there, landscape boulders or whatever you're gonna use them for. I don't believe they're beyond the silt fence.
Yeah, they're on the other side of the.
There's
silt.
a blue storage container there. Correct?
Yes,
A small one, probably 24 footer or something like that.
correct.
There's an aluminum dock and ramp there for the
Yeah.
lake.
Yes.
Nothing I saw that is gonna pollute anything.
The boulders are on the other side of the
Well,
fence.
boulders,
What we had agreed upon was to send the letter and to ask him to remove
Yeah,
the boulders and the debris.
now that I see them, those boulders, the small pile, 24 foot high by 4 foot high. They're not a pollutant. If he's gonna use,
They're
he's gonna use them somewhere on his property.
They're technically wetland fill if they're in the wetlands on the other side of the silt
What's
fence.
it gonna take to take the boulders on one side of the fence and put them on the other side of the fence?
Well, first,
If,
there's some explanations to this first.
Yeah.
Okay.
go ahead.
As a former policeman, I will tell you that not all investigations are necessarily correct. And in this particular case, I'm gonna take exception to, first of all, I'd like to know who was complaining about what, because there's nothing to complain about there, as far as I can tell. Last year, when we were preparing to put the septic system in, there was a tree that was cut, and I have a neighbor there who apparently, well, quote, I don't want him to build this house because he has a house in Florida, and why does he need to build a new house there? So that's the whole theory of this, and if you want to go back to the ZBA and read the minutes of the meeting, that's on record. Am I wrong?
Sure, yeah, right.
Okay, so with that in mind, a complaint was filed with the building inspector about the tree being cut, which I believe was passed on to her. I got a call that indicated that there was stuff being cut without a silt fence up. So I want to cooperate, even though I don't believe my orders even say that I have to put a silt fence up before I cut anything. And we had a discussion about that, and she came out to my property. After I put the silt fence up, within 2 days of mentioning that, I spent $3,800 to put a silt fence up. I then called her, she came out, she looked at the silt fence, looked at everything there, said, everything's fine. In fact, the boulders were there at the time, because the boulders were there before, and was part of another project that I was doing with Todd at the time, who approved everything there. And we haven't done a thing since. Not a thing. I'm having problems getting a foundation person because there's water tables high there, and it requires some special attention. So I had one guy who came and said, was almost ready to start doing the foundation. He said, I don't think I'm gonna do it. So we've done nothing. We're waiting to get a foundation person. Nothing else has been done. I don't know who would have complained about anything. I'm very friendly with the neighbors that, at 28. So I'm here to figure out what the heck's going on, actually.
So just a quick question, sir. Were the boulders already there when you purchased the property?
No, I've had that property for 70 years. There was a boulder out front
Okay,
in my yard on the lawn that was near the lake.
okay,
And when we went to put the wall up, it had to be taken out.
okay.
I worked with Todd on that. He approved everything. We put the wall in, and the debris from the stone was put where you observed it. And it's been there for long before we ever started anything else.
No, I don't see any problem with what he's got there. There are violations on that road, but not on his property.
And I personally do not recall the boulders. I remember us talking about you putting the trailer shed there for storage and stuff, and I okayed that, but for the life of me, I don't
So why is he
remember the
here?
boulders. Because at the last meeting, I was instructed to send a letter and ask him to come to the meeting and give him 30 days to remove the boulders.
Well, and after inspecting it myself, I think we jumped the gun there.
Okay, so let's remedy it. What do we gotta do?
If I may say something, I think this would have been very well remedied if I at least gotten a phone call from somebody that said that there was at least a concern.
Well, I said it, but that's kind of water of the bridge now, so. At this point, how much, I've seen, how much rocks are we talking here?
Well, sure, it's not water over the bridge. When I had to come to a meeting tonight, and I've got court in the morning, and I can't even prepare tonight because I'm now here spending my time before this board, and I'm not being disrespectful to you guys. Because, you know, my time is valuable as yours is, especially when I've got clients who I've got to deal with, and I've got a judge who's gonna be pretty pissed off at me in
Understand
the
that,
morning.
but none of that will affect what we're gonna do with these rocks.
Well, it would have affected something if I had been called in advance. That's all I'm suggesting.
Okay, chief.
Thank you. I appreciate at least the input.
Well, through the chair, I would like to make a motion to void that violation. I don't see a violation.
All right, I need a
It was
second.
a notice of a possible
Okay,
violation.
well, we'll void the
second that.
notice then.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Are the,
I haven't seen it, I'm just, give me a picture, this is table, is the area. Are we talking like covering this table with rocks, or is it just a couple rocks? and
it's
goes
a
up?
very, very, very large pile that I don't recall seeing before. That is
Probably not
on-
as, the pile's probably not as big as that desk.
It's probably this high,
I figured
Maybe
4 foot
that
high,
big.
5 feet wide, maybe.
but
I do have photos of I have photos of the location. I mean, presented, but again, if they need but they were there. They've been there. He hasn't done any work there at all in that area besides.
Let's move on.
Can you
This is a
share the
motion.
pictures?
Yeah, sure.
A second motion. I made a motion, we get a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I'm staying, I haven't seen it. That's all.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm sorry for any inconvenience, chief.
No, listen, I just try to do things the right way. I told her that, and
Go home and study,
And again, I was
and the judge will
sent
forgive
you
you.
a letter at the direction of the board. so.
Get that dock back in the water.
thank you.
See you later.
I will, thank you.
I know.
There's 2 other possible violations,
See you later, guys.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
Thank you.
2 other possible violations. 220 Sturbridge Road, I'm working with them.
Who was that?
220. 220 what road? Sturbridge Road.
right across from Kid Power Gymnastics.
Oh, up in the hill there,
Yeah.
between the Mass Pike.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What
It
kind of
looks
violation
looks
is
like a
that?
mess up there.
yeah.
Yeah, but,
They're clearing it out.
what does it got to do with us? That can't be water
They're
up
clearing it
there.
out.
Can't be wetlands.
There's wetlands right across the street and right at like the bottom of the hill, and they keep,
That's near where we let the guy dig a pond up there, remember years ago?
No, that, you're talking about John, who, Amrek?
Yeah, but it's just beyond that. It's a
Yeah, I
complaint.
know right in the place. I
Right.
could, yeah.
So you got a
I didn't
complaint?
think there was any.
They
You've
do,
Yeah, I
been-
was sent-
Have you been there?
yes.
Is there an actual violation?
Or
or just
does it
somebody-
just look like that?
There's definitely a violation of our stormwater ordinance bylaw, cause his plan for planning board that was approved, the driveway goes up and everything was supposed to be on that side. Well, now they've done the whole other side, so the wetlands were flagged in 2016, the flags still aren't there. So I can't judge if he's in the buffer zone or not, so he's getting Ecotech to reflag. And he's having J. Du Bois looking at the minimum, he'll do a land disturbance permit for us.
Has it disturbed
Possibly.
more than 40,000?
Okay, he's willing to
Yes.
fix the problem.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
let's-
just letting
all
you
right.
know that
Okay,
All right. And what's the other one? 26,
Center Depot Road,
I got 26 Willis Road.
we
That's the one
just
we just
dealt with
did.
that.
Okay,
Um,
26.
yeah, it's 0 Center Depot Road. I noticed that today when I was
It's
going.
down past the
to-
bank, down in that area, on the right-hand side.
It has an order of conditions that Jay did that was issued not that long ago. They jumped the gun, cleared everything, I think possibly into the wetlands. I'm not 100% sure, but there's no notification, no DEP sign. I'm having Rose send them a letter tomorrow and me and her are going out Monday. Cause she did that original site visit. Cause I was super pregnant and not like crawling through multifloral rows to go check
you
the
were
area.
super pregnant?
Yeah, I was super
I
pregnant.
didn't
at
know that
time.
that was a terminology, super pregnant.
I was
That means
in,
there's 15 kids coming?
triplets.
Triplets.
I was in my 3rd trimester and it was June and I was not crawling in brush
What was the actual violation, do you remember, or,
that I saw today.
well, whatever's going on at 26, yeah.
They
No,
just
no, we're
freaking
talking
cleared,
about zero.
0 Center Depot Road.
Right.
they cleared everything without any notification. They haven't filed anything. There's several permit conditions they're in violation of.
You send them a notice of the violations?
Not yet, because like I said, I only
Walking in
just
Monday.
discovered it this afternoon, driving to Stafford Street, check out that septic. And me and Rose are going out Monday because she was the one that went out.
Originally.
Yeah,
We'll probably go look at it too.
I mean, it's completely clear. Put your vehicle in 4-wheel drive or it'll get stuck.
You got 4-wheel drive on your little Jeep, yeah?
Well, we have the town truck,
Oh,
but yeah, my Jeep has 4-wheel drive too.
All right,
before we adjourn, I want to talk about that article on the town warrant again. You say we voted on it?
Yes,
I don't remember voting on the article on the town warrant. I remember you brought it up.
we voted on it because it had to be submitted by,
Did you want to unvote?
I'm gonna make them, I've talked to the selectmen about it. They're not gonna sponsor it. They don't.
to establish a conservation trust
That was to
that,
establish it, right?
That's what, does it make sense for a 7-member board, appointed board, to be in charge of any monies, whether it's $1 or $1 million of town money or conservation money, without the approval of the selectmen?
it's in the Mass
You can argue
General
till you're blue in the
law.
face, I don't agree with you. But I would make
Read
a,
the law.
I make a
Read the
motion
law.
to the chair, can I make a motion?
No.
No,
Go ahead. Yeah,
you
I'm
can't,
kidding.
because we already made this motion. It needs to go back on the agenda. I can put it on for the next meeting. I sent you the enabling legislation. I sent you the wording that is supplied from the Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commissions.
To be honest
We
with you,
are
I don't
one of the-
remember it either, but.
I
don't remember.
Maybe,
The meeting,
I'll look for the minutes. Is it in the minutes?
yeah,
Okay.
all right, I need a motion to adjourn.
wait, we were going to talk to. the
Oh, yeah,
people.
come on
Listen,
down.
I want to bring that back at the next meeting, because we're gonna yank it.
Why?
It's my prerogative to bring it back at the next meeting.
It's to
I didn't think a
establish a
seven-member board should be in charge of
conservation
any
fund.
funds without being authorized by the
You
select.
don't sit on the board if you don't understand what a conservation commission does.
Are you telling me?
Here,
to
it's
quit it?
right
Don't sit
here.
on the board.
It's right
Okay,
here.
I'm
in
all done.
our
I'm all done arguing
of
about it.
What
All right, let's
conservation
calm down,
commissions do,
okay?
right here.
Let's get out of
Let's
here.
see.
You sure now?
Why don't you
You
introduce
should
yourself?
get on here.
Why don't you
The
introduce yourself?
conservation commission fund.
All right,
We're-
Let's
we've
get
moved
this
on.
done. All right,
We've moved on.
Yeah.
I've read it. I've read it.
yeah, hey, well, I want to move this, let these people a couple of minutes, who they are, what they are, and they're interested now.
So my name is Alan Leone. I've lived in town for about 15 years, owned property here most of my life. I've dealt with a lot of different issues with the property I have with wetlands and endangered turtles along the waterfront. And just through the different things I've had to do in developing the lot, putting the house in and a barn, things like that. I just found it interesting that how the commission works, what they put together. The reasons for things. I was a firefighter, for 32 years,
Where?
Newton. But I was also involved mainly with fire prevention, code compliance, mass general law. The, mostly building, building, public safety and, life safety codes. So I'm a little familiar with those, not necessarily conservation, but. I don't know, I just found it interesting.
I used to do work for them. There used to be two guys that ran the highway department. They both moved on. One of them became the Boston Police Department, the automobiles and stuff involved in that years ago, long time ago. And young lady,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent.
I'm Erica White. I'm not as young as I look. Just saying, but I am ambitious. And I don't have as much life experience in that way as you had mentioned. However, I'm very interested in learning about the conservation committee and the things that you guys do. I think that it's always good to have a fresh set of eyes. I actually study classical music in performance arts. I do have a degree already in medical. Just moved here, not even a year ago. So he definitely has me on that. But we live on 5L Stevens Road and behind it, Mr. Lemansky just purchased a very large lot of land. And it includes otters and deer and wild turkey and just a multitude of animals, beavers. We have a lot of protected animals and wildlife and wetlands behind us, and we've gotten ourselves into some situations with that as well. We're trying to protect those things. So it definitely became a priority to me to look into these things and to make a difference in the town that I live in.
Okay, well, we're gonna see if we can get both these on as alternates and we'll go from there. See what happens. We gotta find that out though first. Then we'll just toss a coin. I think that's the easiest way, the simplest way to do it. If we only get one, just flip a coin and that's the way I find instead of, somebody making, they want somebody on or vice versa. If that works for everybody, that's the way I like to do things.
You both look ambitious. We don't,
Yeah, we'd like to have.
I don't think we can make a bad choice,
Yeah,
so
no, but I think that's just, okay,
I don't see any reason why we can't have two alternates.
no, I know, I agree with you.
all right, I need a
Thank you,
motion to
Stan.
adjourn.
Appreciate the
I've
action.
been up since 2.
Made a motion. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very nice meeting both of you.
Thank you.
The commission would like to accept.
Oh, yeah, we can make a motion to accept. They did that. We already did that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
all right.
did that.
I need a
And
motion
then we
to,
just gotta see if the Board of Selectmen will allow. us
To adjourn?
Yeah,
I make a motion to adjourn and sign some paperwork.
is that it?